Dr. Mara Chen walked the night shift corridors of Deep Station Kethris the way she had for 14 years. One foot, then the other, her footfalls perfectly timed to the pulse of the station's life support. She passed the memorial board without slowing, though her peripheral vision caught the new hollows. A Karathi child's wide, dark eyes, a Fenrathi elder's ceremonial beads. Her hand didn't reach out to touch the frames the way it used to. Her pace didn't falter. She checked her chrono instead. 17 minutes until break. The number was easier to hold than the faces. The warning lights began their dance, amber pulses reflecting off sterile walls. Mara's hands should have tightened on her medkit. Her feet should have quickened. Instead, she noted the flickering the way she might note a change in air recycler pitch, information requiring no response. Somewhere distant, an alarm began its patient wail. A young nurse sprinted past, eyes wide with adrenaline, and Mara stepped aside to let her pass without comment. The old Mara would have been running beside her. This Mara watched her disappear around the corner, then continued walking. 17 minutes. The station shuddered beneath her feet, and she adjusted her balance without looking up. The universe remembered how to get her attention. The first explosion threw her sideways, her shoulder cracking against a bulkhead as the floor became a wall, became the ceiling. Emergency seals screamed overhead, ancient metal protesting as it slammed home. She tumbled through a doorway just as the corridor behind her collapsed, debris raining like mechanical hail. Voices ahead, shouting, a reptilian snarl, crystalline chiming. Prisoner transfer disrupted by the blast. Her training took over where her emotions had failed, tucking her body, protecting her head, rolling with the chaos rather than fighting it. When the station finally stopped trying to kill her, Mara found herself in darkness, dust thick as fog, her medkit somehow still clutched in white-knuckled fingers. The dust settled in layers, revealing her prison. Maintenance Corridor 7 Delta. She recognized the designation stenciled on the buckled wall. Emergency lighting painted everything in crimson shadows. A groan drew her attention left. A Vectari male, charcoal scales slick with blood, prison garments torn to reveal ribs that had gone somewhere ribs should never go. To her right, catching what little light remained and scattering it into rainbows, a Silicari, young by their geometric proportions, formed from fragments of elder nodes barely 2 centuries past. The being chimed softly in distress. Her medkit had survived. She was a doctor. These were patients. The equations were simple. Her hands began moving before her heart could object.
"Don't touch me, pray."
The words came wet, bubbling with blood Korath Vel couldn't afford to lose. Mara's scanner was already reading the damage. Internal hemorrhaging, 3 ribs puncturing organs. Survivable, with treatment.
I'm a doctor, let me.
"I would rather die."
His yellow eyes blazed.
"To owe a life debt to a human. My ancestors would tear my spirit from the hunting grounds."
He spat blood at her feet, and the spray hit her boots. She didn't flinch, didn't step back, just held up a hypo spray with steady hand.
No treatment then. But this isn't saving your life. It's making your death less agonizing. Even Vectari honor can't object to pain management.
A long moment. Then a fractional nod. As she administered the medication, the station shuddered again, metal screaming somewhere in the distance.
"The organic unit refuses repair."
Prism of First Light's voice was music and mathematics intertwined.
This is choosing cessation when existence remains available. I carry fragments of elder nodes who studied organic behavior for 40 years, and none recorded.
Then watch closely, Crystal.
Korathvel's laugh became a cough, blood flecking his lips.
This is how warriors die.
But why?
Prism pressed, facets angling toward him. Before Korathvel could answer, his body convulsed. Mara moved without thinking, hands bracing his shoulders, keeping him from slamming his skull against the deck. When the seizure passed, his yellow eyes found hers with new intensity.
Your compassion, it's dead. I can smell its absence on you. You touch me like you touch machinery.
Her hands were still on his shoulders. She made herself let go.
We are the same, both already dead. You just haven't stopped breathing.
Mara said nothing, but her hands, returning to her medkit, trembled once before she stilled them.
Among my kind, there is no death as you experience it. We fragment, distribute consciousness across the collective.
Golden light pulsed through their structure.
I carry nodes who chose this path 1,000,000 years ago.
They speak through me still.
Korathvel's scales rippled with contempt.
Convenient to never truly lose.
Is permanent cessation not wasteful? All that experience simply stopping?
The station groaned. Somewhere, rescue teams were cutting through debris, or the hull was giving way. Korathvel's breathing grew more labored, and Mara adjusted his position, her movements efficient, mechanical. Then he spoke again, and his voice had changed.
The Vectari do not fear death. We fear meaningless death.
His claws scraped weakly against the floor.
To die in battle is glory. Your name carved in hunt records, sung for generations. But prisoners who die in chains.
He had to stop, gather breath.
We are erased, names struck from all records, as if we never existed.
His yellow eyes grew wet, not tears, but raw terror.
My daughter will be told her father was no one.
How do humans face death?
Prism asked. The question was simple. Mara opened her mouth to give her standard answer. Presence, dignity, comfort. But what came out was a name.
Keth Sora.
Her voice cracked on the syllables.
Korathi child. She called me Warm Mother, because her species runs cold and I...
She stopped. Her hands had begun to shake. She couldn't make them stop.
Venrathi Elder Kos. He sang his death song for 6 hours. I learned the words so he wouldn't sing alone.
The names kept coming, pulled from wherever she'd buried them.
Marcus Webb, human engineer, 23 years old. He was so scared, and I told him his mother was coming, and I held him while he...
Her scanner clattered to the floor. She hadn't meant to drop it. Korathvel watched her with something other than contempt now.
You stopped feeling them.
Not a question.
I had to.
She was crying. When had she started crying?
The weight was crushing me. I couldn't save the ones who could be saved if I was drowning in the ones I'd lost. So I built walls, stopped letting them in.
She laughed, and it sounded like breaking glass.
Now I can't feel grief. And that's worse. At least grief meant I still cared.
Waiting for your own death.
Understanding. The station shuddered violently. Dust rained from above, and Mara realized her hand had found Korath Vel's without her permission. Her small human fingers wrapped around his scaled claws. He hadn't pulled away.
Tell me about your hunts.
Mara's voice was steady now, though her face was still wet.
Your victories. Your daughter. Let me carry your story.
Korath Vel's yellow eyes widened.
You would do this? For prey?
For a dying man who deserves to be remembered.
And Korath Vel spoke. Haltingly at first. A hunt detail muttered between labored breaths. A flash of void serpents in the Kethris Nebula, with scales like living darkness. Prism leaned closer with each fragment, chiming soft questions that drew out more. The earning of name marks, the taste of victory, the way his daughter Vethkira had his eyes and her mother's stubborn spirit. His voice grew weaker. His words grew stronger. The station screamed around them, cutting torches now, rescue approaching. But in this small space, a life was being preserved. Prism's crystalline form pulsed with new patterns, literally weaving the story into their structure. Mara held Korath Vel's hand throughout, and when his grip began to fade, she squeezed tighter.
Keth Vol Mara.
The words came in Vektari, barely a whisper. She didn't know the language, but she understood. Honorable witness. Packmate. The light faded from his yellow eyes. His grip went slack. But his face held peace. The rescue team cut through the bulkhead to find Mara still holding a dead Vektari's hand, a Silicari humming softly beside her. As they pulled her toward safety, Prism stopped her with a gentle chime.
I will carry him. His harmonics are woven into my structure now. When I return to the collective, 10 billion Silicari will know Korath Vel's story.
Their facets glowed with captured starlight, with a warrior's life preserved.
He will never be erased.
Mara looked down at her hand, the one that had held his. It was still trembling, but it was alive. The weight of Korath Vel's death pressed against her heart, and it didn't crush her. It connected her, to him, to every patient she'd lost, to her own battered, beautiful humanity. She returned to the medical wing that night. The memorial board was waiting, and this time her hand reached out, fingers brushing the Karathi child's hollow, the Fenrathi elder's beads. There were patients waiting beyond. And when she walked through those doors, her footsteps no longer matched the rhythm of the life support. They matched her own heartbeat, unsteady, imperfect, finally present.